We always find the funny. Please welcome to the late night program a dear friend of mine from a long time ago, over 30 years, from sunny Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the late night program the funny guy, Mr. Tom Drake. How you doing, sir?
I'm good from sunny Central Florida. It was actually chilly today, about 74 degrees and slightly overcast. But all in all, I think it creeped up to 77. But I'm doing good. I'm doing better than Tiger. How's that for a sentence?
Oh,
How many jokes have been written? The New York Post today, 12 stories on Tiger's accident, including the fact they put a steel rod in his leg, which was not true. They put titanium from Callaway. He has a titanium leg. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, I watched the coverage of that. It was wall to wall, and I gather he was in a hurry and wasn't paying attention, and suddenly his car was going downhill faster than Andrew Cuomo's political career. Thank you very much. Hey, try the deal.
All right,
Okay.
I tell you. Hey, my God, you know. Hey.
I felt obligated to bring two jokes. After that, I'm very dull.
That's okay. You're always point on. You have your finger on the pulse of stand-up comedy. Now, Tom, myself, you and I, we go way back from the 90s and when I was a young guy living in Florida, and you were always so nice to me. You were booking rooms in Florida. You had a radio show in Fort Myers. What have you been up to lately?
The last 20, a long time, I've been on cruise ships sailing around the world, which has been a great life. You know, when we were all comics on land, everybody kind of looked down or sniffed about cruise ships because it wasn't the same as being a headliner in a comedy club when they paid real money. And I stumbled onto that 24 years ago, and I've been there ever since. And now, of course, you know, the comedy clubs are all based on how many friends you can bring in, dead or alive. And there are a few left in Boston, you know,
Yeah.
Lenny Clark, guys like that get paid, they can sell tickets, and everybody else is scrambling around to make a living, and I've been doing it ever since. So now all the guys that never wanted to be on ships all want to know, how do you get on ships? And first you have to do is clean up your act, and you have to have a lot of material because they work you pretty hard out there. So for the last 2 decades, that's where I've been all over the world, and married a cruise director. You marry the boss, you got an inside track kind of a thing. So we travel.
So
we
found
travel.
jobs. You found job security.
Yeah. Actually, we've been with Oceania Cruise Line for almost 13 years, and I brought Dottie to that cruise line. I convinced her to leave one to come over to the other. And Oceania is a very nice line. We sail around with very affluent people, and we drink. And I do 2 shows every 10 days, 2 different shows, 2 different 45s every 10 days. And then I just try not to end up in the staff captain's office, which is a tradition of mine.
Mr. Drake, I'd like to talk to you about your material.
You know, things changed. 25 years ago, the Norwegians were in charge, and they got drunker than I did. Now everything has changed. They're younger, they're more serious, and you know, your behavior you have to be careful. I mean, I could throw jokes out all the time, but over the years, 20 plus years, I've been out in the office many times when I didn't work with my wife for jokes like, I remember when Bill Clinton came out against same-sex marriages, I said, that's really strange because he's in one. And the next thing you know, I'm in front of the hotel managers, and he's going, why do you do stuff like that? I go, I don't know. I'm from Jersey. That's pretty much I have no choice. It's my job to say stuff like that. So
But
anyway.
it's all about, performing. And like I said earlier, you were always point on, keeping your finger, on what's happening in the world. And that keeps you fresh and vibrant. You also have a radio show now that you're doing.
Well, we did, yeah. It started out last year. When the pandemic struck, I was on a ship sailing out of Miami, and suddenly I was out of work. It was March 17th when the word came down that the industry was shutting down. I came home on March 18th. My wife came home a week later, and suddenly, you know, we're in a business where you can always tell jokes somewhere. Yeah, you go to the Waffle House, anything, and suddenly we couldn't. So there was nothing to do. So a mutual friend of ours, BJ Odom, his son's involved in internet radio, and I thought, well, that'd be fun. So I started a little radio show, then that expanded into a bigger show on social media, and a lot of work, very much like what you're involved in now with cameras and green screen. Well, you have a real studio. We have a I was in my bedroom. That's a trade secret. Anyway, I abandoned that just a couple of weeks ago, and now we just do a little radio show Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. It's called The Tom Drake Show, and we have a website called bestinsearadio.com. It's actually a resource for people interested in the cruise business. It has all the latest news about what's going on, when we might restart, and COVID, that stuff. And also interviews that we've had over the past 8 months with guys like Vern Lundquist, and it's pretty cool stuff. But I just get up now and I get on the air at 10 a.m. and I talk till noon, and we're getting every day more and more people are tuning in, and more people are tuning out. It's one of those doorway things.
It's nice to see that you are wearing sunscreen.
I am old enough that I received my second vaccination in Tampa, Florida, which is about an hour 15 minutes from our house, and so we decided to stay overnight on Clearwater Beach, and I'm Irish, and I burned, so I did burn, But I enjoy the 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, because it challenges me mentally. You know that when you're looking at the news, you're constantly trying to find out what the joke is. An example, the post office now, after 30 years, are ordering new postal trucks. And what do you see them? The windshield is like huge. It's like you're driving in a storefront down the street. But I was just reading, the reason they're buying new ones is after 30 years, the ones they have keep catching on fire, which is more than we can say about the guy driving it. Oh, sorry. Hold on a minute here. There you go.
He brought his own rim shots to the party. It's our funny friend in Florida, Mr. Tom Drake. Tom, continued success. Stay funny, my friend.
You too. Keep it up. You're doing a great job.
More Late Night New England coming up. It's Wicked Good TV. It's all about you.